Hello again. I'm still going strong with gilding flakes. Today is a different technique to show how you can use stamps with gilding flakes. Um, it's a little bit more complicated than using double-sided adhesive sheet or double-sided tape, where you just put that on the card and then cover it with the flakes. Here you have to use a special medium to make a sticky impression. So what I've used here was a stamp from Indigo Blue. I was looking at their website to give people details of the Scoochie, and spotted lovely stamps, quite a few of which I already possess. So I dug one of them out, which is this one, and I thought I would make a card with this. And this is a bit of a test, really, because these lines are really quite fine, and so to get this sort of fine impression is a real test of what you're doing. There are various products that you can use to make a sticky impression like this. What I got today is something called Stamp and Bond, which is by Stampendous. It's a bit like an embossing powder, but instead of making a shiny finish, it makes a sticky finish. Okay, so what we're going to do is this. I showed these two just for contrast, because I made this one first of all and just used gold flakes, but I thought to myself afterwards, it's a bit of a waste really, because that could have been done just with gold embossing powder, probably a little more simply. So I think if you're going to do stamping with gilding flakes, it would be really good to use different colours, so you get the effect that you could not get with regular stamping. So I'm choosing to use a variegated embossing flake. If you don't have a variegated one, but you do have perhaps a silver and a gold, you could add bits of both so that you would get that, a bit of vitality, a bit of difference. Okay, let me show you the process. So here I've got a stamping platform. This one's my Vaison one. And the first thing I want to do is to give it a good wipe with anti-static pad. I've got that bag, and I've also got this powdery one, which is quite good for getting rid of bits at the end, actually. Anyway, here's my stamp. Here's my Versamark, and I'm just going to ink up this stamp quite liberally. And then over we go and stamp it. I'm pressing down with my tea light holder, using it as a whatever they call them. It has got a name. Somebody gave it a name, didn't they? I don't know what they call them. I just put a piece of felt on the bottom and it works really well. That looks quite nice. I think I'll give it just another go. I was doing one of these the other day, and using my this stamping platform, and I thought, why is it not making a good impression? I couldn't understand why I was not getting a decent impression, and I realised afterwards what had happened. This little magnet here, which has lost its cover, had got stuck underneath one of the others, and so of course the platform was too high to get a decent impression. So that was the reason. Oh dear, I thought I'd lost the magnet and found it underneath another one. Okie dokie. Now the thing to do is to add our powder, our Stamp and Bond powder. Sprinkling it all over. And I like to give it a bit of a shake, actually, because if you just tip it straight off, if it happened to touch some of the ink, fine. If it didn't, that little bit's missed. So, just give it a little jiggle. There we go, a little jiggle. Okay. I'm going to put it back on once more. That's another thing I was going to say to you. I normally give it a tap like that, and it was almost a reflex action. But I think in this case, we don't want to give it a flick tap. Just let it fall off, because the thicker that is, the better it's going to be. Let's put this little lot back in the pot. There are other ways of making a sticky surface, which I may well get around to, but I'm feeling that we've been doing rather a lot of gilding flakes, and we may need to move on a bit. We'll see. We will see. Right, now, in order to heat this up, this is where a lot of people have problems, and let's face it, I've had the problems in the past. And that is, if you overheat this, it will dry out the medium, whatever you call it, and it will no longer be sticky. So what you need to do is to make sure your heating tool is hot to start with, heat from underneath, and as soon as you see it change from white to clear, move on to the next bit, because if you heat it too much, it won't end up sticky. It will dry it out. Okay, I'm going to heat my gun just a minute first. Don't know how long it's going to take, but the hotter it is, the better, really. Right, let's have a go. There. Now, hopefully, I haven't kept it on too long, and it will still be sticky. So let's have a go. I've had that stuff for a long time. I don't know if it does deteriorate, but time will tell. Here we go. Again, trying not to put on too much. I say I'd love to know what this one's called, but it's lost its label. And the other ones, one of them's got so messed up with ink that I can't read what the colour is. So let's try that to start with. Put the lid over the top. Just tamp it down a little bit first. These are so glorious. Love them. Again, I didn't really need all of that, did I? Look at the colours, isn't they beautiful? I'm going to put this bit back because it'll sink to the bottom, and it might well do for filling in a gap somewhere at some point in the future. Now, just give it a little burnish. There. Isn't that lovely? I don't know which is the right way up, really. I'll have to have a good look at that. Oh, it doesn't, I don't know if it matters which way up you put it, really. But there we go. That's the way to do it if you have a powder which needs to be melted before you add your flakes. And as I say, if you overheat it, it won't work. It'll dry it up to such an extent that the flakes won't stick. In another video, I may well show you how how you can add a border to a squared die cut like that, but that's for another time. So there we go. Two different powders on the same stamp from Indigo Blue, and just try it. Have a go. And thanks for watching.